Mataji qui jai.
Why not?
Moi aussi, je voulais le lire hier soir, mais je ne l'ai pas fait. Faut que je fasse deux têtes. Combien de gens ils parlent anglais? How many people speak English?
Quels sont ceux qui ne parlent pas l'anglais?
Voilà, oui. Ceux qui ne parlent pas l'anglais du tout.
Okay.
Bon, alors on va parler en anglais, hein.
Oui.
C'est plus simple. Ok. So in 1976, in the summer of 1976, on that day, Krishna Balarama were installed. So I just want to make a little context, geographical, weather and everything. So it was a drought. It was not at all like that. It was so hot. It was a big, big drought in France, even that the army had to go help the farmer to feed the animals in the field. It was a big, big drought. It was very, very hot. They were planting salad and they were coming up right away. It was not at all like that. And we had been preparing because Prabhupada came, so for all the devotees in Mayapur, more than the installation was that Prabhupada was coming and we were getting ready and making his room. Because before he didn't have the room, when he came in 75, he stayed in what was Bhagavan room at that point, which is where Gopalapriya stayed now. Stay there. Because upstairs, it was the commandant Perret was still with us. So in the meantime, we installed the deities. Prabhupada came in 75 for one day, and then in December of 75, when it was really, really freezing cold, Gonitai were installed, and then 8 months later, Krishna Balarama were installed. So what happened is Prabhupada was supposed to come, but he got really sick. I didn't read the book. I don't know from where he was coming. And he was Auckland? New York. He was so weak when he arrived in England that he wanted to go to India right away. He was very, very sick. And he was going to jump over coming to New Mayapur. And we heard about that, and all the devotees were crying because devotees were working day and night to finish Prabhupada home, to clean the garden, to paint, fix everything. And so Bhagavan went to England to see Srila Prabhupada, And he spoke with Srila Prabhupada, and I think it's when he was messaging Prabhupada, Prabhupada said he wanted to go to India because in India it's very hot. So Bhagavan said, no problem. It's very hot in France. It's a drought. It's so hot. It's unbearable. So Prabhupada said, okay. Then Prabhupada said he wanted to go to a quiet place. And Bhagavan said there will be no noise, no noise. And there was no noise. You see the castle? There was no one staying in the castle, just Prabhupada, Bhagavan Vishvambar, and 3 pujari in the little tower in the corner there. All the devotees were over there, very far. I'm not allowed to come around in the castle during the day. So Bhagavan said, there was no guest house. And and Prabhupada could not walk the stairs. Prabhupada said, but I cannot go the stairs. And Bhagavan said, no problem, we have an elevator. So they had someone coming to fix the elevator, which just worked that time when Prabhupada came. I've never seen it working since. But it worked then. And they made a palanquin because in the summer before that, we had the Ratha Yatra. Jagannath came from Paris and they made palanquin. And then so they took one palanquin of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. There was 3. And they cover it with red. There is photo, you see Prabhupada is on a red satin palanquin. So when he was coming up the stairs, from down to up, then they were taking him in the palanquin. And when he made the initiation in the back also, he was sitting there. So it was a special time. So finally we heard that Prabhupada was coming. So everyone was relieved because everyone was working. Even the mother with babies and everything, taking off all the weeds of the garden and like that. And then devotees came from all over Europe. They came even from Sweden, from Germany, Italy, I guess. We had Italy yet. I don't know if we had many Spanish devotees then, I don't know. But there was a lot of devotees from other places. And I don't know what was for the men the situation where they were camping, but for the ladies, what they did. At that time, I was staying where, what's the name? Marcel and his wife, they stay. That was the washing place. That big building was the washing place. There was big things like that. Everyone was coming to wash their laundry there. So on the top of it, the only thing they did for the Mataji is they bought linoleum. So they put linoleum all over on the first floor. And then, I don't know how many 100 Mataji slept up there and took their shower in the les lavoirs. You know, we had big lavoirs. I don't know how you say in English.
Concrete reservoir.
To wash the laundry, you know, they were taking their shower there, the ladies. But I don't know for the men. I don't remember what happened. I think they were camping more far. I don't know if they were on the other side. I don't remember really. Me, I was staying under where now is the oven of the bakery. And we were just few Grihasta who had little room. And because there was lady with babies who came, then we had to take one more mother with a baby with us in our little room, already overcrowded. And it was like that. We were many. But it's true, during the day, no one was allowed. There was things there, no one was allowed. We were allowed to come for the morning program. Huh? Like this, Prabhupada didn't come down, but we are doing all morning program here, and he could hear everything. But we were not seeing Prabhupada. He came, when he arrived, he sat on the Visesa once when he arrived. And the only other time he sat on that Visesa is for the installation of Krishna Balarama, is that day. He didn't sit another time. The other time he was there, he sat outside and gave class outside. But that was the day of the installation, and it was so packed that some people were climbing by the window to get in, because you couldn't get in this way, because there was devotee from all over, and here they had built a platform in front of where is Krishna Balarama. Had built a platform. It's why when you see the photo in Prabhupada room or on the poster of the installation, they are up, because they built a platform and the installation was there. Between the gate and the arch, there was a big platform, and the devotee from England, they had made the very nice, comment on appelle ça? Day, something you put on top like that, on velvet. For the devotee who know, it was Manjuali from Bhakti, Jayatirtha's wife. She had made that. So it was on the top. It was very beautiful. It was blue. Oui.
I'm going to give also a little context, and after you go back to Krishna Balaram station.
Let's see.
You can see the context. One context before and after August of the installation. This year was 1976. Paramagati Prabhu was the world champion of book distribution. This year, Agnidev Prabhu was the world champion of Kirtan. With his Hari Hara and Ramakrishna in one place. They are listening to that every day. And this year, Haridas Prabhu was the first devotee who was made in France. And we have his daughter here.
No, he was not the first devotee made in France, Harivilas. Not that year.
Not that year, but when they came, the three first Americans who came here, the first devotee, as far as I see, it was, Harivilas and Ochananda, and after, Jyotirmayi.
Yeah, but it was
before.
Much before.
Yeah, but today we have people, devotees from this time, and this is great. This is great because we are very numerous, but not only these special devotees, but you are all here, and you will not be here. You will not be here. Will be only Mataji and myself from this time. Very feel like, wow, where are they? What are we doing here? Why? Why staying here? Well, it's of course Krishna's mercy, and therefore it's feel very grateful that you are all here, that you Prabhu, Mataji, and are all there. That's wonderful. And my little context for that, when Sri Prabhupada arrived here on end of June, same day I was freed from jail. I had been sent to Army, and I had been sent to Army, and then Army jail and Army hospital by my parents wanted to deprogram me. So that lasted for a little more than 2 months. And the day Sri Prabhupada arrived here with some different miracle circumstances, actually he freed me from jail, and I arrived the same day that he arrived here, June 76. Du Selmal, and I stayed 1 hour with Mrs. Taillandier, the mother of the present mayor, and she was a very kind lady, always with all the devotees, and nobody was coming to pick me up, so I walk from Lissamai here running and go there. Okay, and then Srila Prabhupada was sick, but he gained strength day after day, and he was walking like a hero all around New Mayapur. You should read Srila Prabhupada's Arisori's diary. The book is here. I think it's in Prabhupada's room also, about all his stay here. Many details, many reports of conversations and classes and guests coming like that. And Prabhupada, being carried here and there. And the garden, Prabhupada repeating a few times during his sojourn here that very simple, produce fruits, flowers, take care of cows and milk, remain away from modern civilization, towns, build cottages, very nice, New Mayapur. That was, okay. That was the context maybe. He walk around, he sit down on the grass, and devotees were very happy. The sun god was very happy, and was very shining. And you remember these two Muslim boys who came on their horses. It was a little funny thing. Some family members from one of the devotees here, Muslim, and they came on horses, two nice guys, with turban and big thing, and the l'épée, tout ça, sword, like that. And during one conversation on the grass with Prabhupada, they were arguing about, the Quran, this is that this, it's the same. Why Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada just at the end. So why don't you follow the Quran? And they left. Many nice talks. Here's one picture here, Prabhupada walking all around. Another picture here. Srila Prabhupada sitting just before the guest house in the garden. And we keep the best for the end, the installation of Krishna Balarama. Listen to this one. Srila Prabhupada sitting there in the grass at the end of the Krishna Balarama garden before the guest house. Everybody is there, just one day before the installation, and he speaks, if you want to love Krishna, where is the difficulty? And then whole class discussion. I have a few samples of this class here. It's written, you can have it in French or English. And he came to the point of here in New Mayapur. Where is the difficulty?
But that is not being properly utilized. That's only other. So when you come to this stage,
just 2 minutes. I put it just. Usually when you remember the old times, you remember only the good old times. Okay, but it was only good times this time.
That means you're removed. Otherwise, while your person wasting time thinking of Krishna, you can think of business.
No.
You can think of so many other things. Only the devotee can think of Krishna. So, if you think of Krishna, then automatically you become devotee. There is a difference. Who can think of Krishna always? Not always you think of Krishna. And that's what is devotee. And to think of Krishna, what is the difficulty? Is there any difficulty? To think of Krishna, thinking power is what? To think.
That was the beginning of the class. Manmana Bhavama Bhakta. If you, this is instruction of Krishna, just think about me. Prabhupada said, as you heard. If you think of Krishna, automatically that means you are devotee. That was the difficulty. I tried to find out the change.
Krishna never said money and then you can love me. You know, it makes me study. Is there anything? Now, practical persons will say, if I think of Krishna always, then where from money will come? This question may be there. I will answer. Krishna says, Yoga Shivam Maham. Find out this verse. Those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. The same thing is meditation is Manmana over Bhakta. I think of Krishna. So those who are engaged in this way, always thinking of Krishna, worshiping Krishna. For such person, Krishna says, "Do Kingdom Mahavira." I personally carry all the necessities of life. I personally take. So my point is that here, in this new Mahaprabhu, if you simply carry all this Manmana over Sattva, then all your necessities will come automatically. You don't know. You get sufficient food, sufficient milk, sufficient fruits, flowers, all necessities. Simply you act on behalf of Krishna and think of Krishna. Don't bother about the necessity of life, utility, or those things of that. Can be disturbed from that point of view. Simply engage yourself in this business of Manmana or very much.
Okay. That's long class. Manmana Bhavama Bhakta. In this class, Prabhupada said 83 times Krishna. No, Sri Prabhupada is very focused on Krishna. And he said 53 times love of Krishna. While sometimes he said other things. So, yeah, no difficulty, but the difficulty that anyway, Hare Krishna. Yeah, Krishna and loving Krishna. That was the theme of Prabhupada's talk. So he walked around, so he went down to the factory. He said, oh, that's a good business, spiritual sky over there. Yeah. And but he said, I don't want to divert you. Just chant, grow flowers, fruits, take care of the cows, live simply, love Krishna. Then he was brought up, he went up, and all the devotees were there on this road throwing flowers to Prabhupada, and he sat down under the big tree where there is still this big tree, spoke more, and things were going on like that very nicely. Up to the day that installation was planned, and
Alors, Krishna and Balaram, toi tu parles en anglais ou en français? En anglais. I don't remember exactly when they arrived, but it's like Gonitai. They arrived one night and we were waiting for them. They didn't arrive in the same time than Gonitai. Gonitai arrived first, and I don't know when exactly Krishna Balaram arrived, but again that time. Again that time, all the devotees, could join, and the box were brought to the back room, and then they opened them, and we could see first the cows, and so there was 4 boxes because there was Krishna and Balaram and the 2 cows. I remember, I don't know which one, already one car had the ear broken when it arrived. And Mataji was our head pujari. I'm trying to have her come for the other festival. This is a preview because we will do the festival on Balaram Day, where we will have interview of devotees who were there at that time. We're trying to get interview of all the devotees who were there. So Mataji was our head pujari, and I said, oh, they're so cute. And she turned to me and she said, so you can dress them when they will be installed. And actually, that was my first service. I dressed the cows. I asked her one day, you remember you told me I can dress the cows? And so they were very beautiful. They stand in that room, and they cover them so that the devotee lady who were on a marathon in the sewing room could make the outfit, because at that time we didn't order in India nothing. We made our own outfit. So the seamstress were Sitala and Kanti. I will try to have them speaking something for the other festival. And Sitala told me she dressed one and Kanti dressed the other one of each. And one Mataji who just left her body, Kanta, she remember actually have been gone to, the devotee went to England to shop to get like little booties, little Indian things to put on silk to make outfit. So they went shopping there, and she remember going shopping there with Sitala and Kanti. They all went, and they made nice outfit. They made nice outfit. And so the day of the installation, I was not sewing at that time, so I used to go to the sewing room, but I was not sewing. And the day of the installation, it's Jayatirtha who did the installation. And when we see Prabhupada, the photo, Prabhupada with the conch shell, the photo is in his room. He walked from the Vyasa to the stand. He went on the stand and then he put one conch shell on each deities because he was still weak. He was not well. And then there was so many people. I don't remember where I was standing during that thing. I remember here in the class before. Prabhupada gave class before the installation, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it's before. And then we were all packed here. And there is all the Gurukul in front, and then all the devotees around. When you see a little boy here, I will pass it around. That's Gora Shakti. That means it's Indradumna Swami, who is now a guru, who is holding his son. He's there. And few devotees have left their body then. And it's Arisori who is there. I remember I was behind Arisori there somewhere. Because there were so many, when they did the Guru Puja, I had to put my feet on the Vyasasan, so I was not pushed against it. And I was holding my baby. I had a 9 months baby, and I was holding, and I was so they don't, because we were many devotees. Yeah, it was nice if you want to pass it around, because devotees sometimes they don't know that was the second time Prabhupada sat there. So the ceremony went on here, and then after, what I know is just it's Sitala and Kanti who dressed them, and I didn't remember, but in Arisori's book he said that was the morning, and that the same day, the afternoon, was the initiation. I personally didn't remember it was the same day, but he took notes, so I was not taking notes. And it was a huge initiation. There was 50 devotees. 50, it was very rare. Some people say it was very rare at that time in ISKCON that there was. And I know German devotee who got initiated there, Swedish devotee, French devotees. And devotee came from all over Europe, and it was very long. You see, there is some photos somewhere. I guess we have to get more. But Prabhupada was sitting here on the lawn, and the fire yagya was going all the way there. It was like a long line, and so many devotees on each side. Many devotees, yeah. Many. Who told me? I don't know. Someone mentioned to me that someone who came lately got initiated here. I don't remember. I know Ratnagarbha got initiated then. He was German. He came here in France after. But yeah, people came from all over. There was that big initiation. And after there was a big feast. What I remember from that time is there was a sannyasi who was singing, because you thought Prabhupada was upstairs. Sometime I was not here. It was Guru Puja, and I was thinking, what Prabhupada is thinking. Are we disturbing him, or what he's thinking is up there? And actually that sannyasi, he had stayed in Radhakund, and he was chanting bhaja. He was chanting Hare Krishna, bhaja, bhaja, Hare Krishna. He was chanting in a way everyone was into it, and because he was sannyasi also, and his name was Prithuputra, and then the servant of Prabhupada came rushed downstairs. Prabhupada heard, and he told him to stop. He said that we don't sing like that. We just sing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. No bhaja, no bolo in the mantra. He said, after I heard, he told him he had been polluted by the people in Radhakund. But when people say Prabhupada didn't notice about the deities or didn't notice things, I remember that Prabhupada was upstairs and he heard the devotee who was singing here in the temple, and he sent someone to stop it. And sometimes people say that Prabhupada was not the puja was not his main thing, but like in Paris when they installed the deities, he saw that Krishna had no ankle bells. Prabhupada saw everything. It's not he didn't know, It's just I had problem after being pujari and people saying, "Oh yeah, but Prabhupada," or making new things. But I'm sure Prabhupada saw everything. He saw everything on the altar, and he heard everything, even if he was upstairs. He heard that and he stopped. Yeah, it stopped that deviation going on downstairs. Well, I wanted to say also, I was thinking yesterday night, but I forgot now. Yeah, Prabhupada wanted us to be a farm, actually. Yeah? He was really insisting on that. And when he came in 75, just for 24 hours, and he sat there on the Visesa who came from Paris, he just spoke about building house and living simply and being self-sufficient, and he was really pushing on that. So after the president and the GBC, Vishwambar was the president, Bhagavan was the GBC. So everyone on the community was obliged to go 1 hour a day in the garden, because there was just one gardener, Haribolananda. I don't know if some of you knew Haribolananda. And he came from England with his wife, and he was a gardener, but it's always the same. Very few devotees are into gardening. So everyone was obliged, even the mother with babies. I had a baby, we had to go 1 hour. Even if we had other service, that was another service. Everyone had to go 1 hour. But often I wonder why we didn't success in Prabhupada's vision of us becoming self-sufficient and everything. It's actually gardening is a hard work, and devotee found excuses, and even if at the beginning they were really pushing it, it was a must. Then first it was the people from the press. They said their service was very important. They were doing the books. They could not spare 1 hour a day, so they stopped. And then when the pujari heard that, they say, wow, we have a big service, we're taking care and cooking and doing and dressing, and then they stop. And then after everyone else, more or less with the time, everyone stopped. And the gardener was alone with a crew of some young devotees. But it was not like everyone was into self-sufficiency, because it's difficult and you don't see the result right away. It's not like when you're cooking or dressing or translating. So, because sometimes the devotees say, "Oh, why we didn't follow Prabhupada instruction?" But I know that they try here at the beginning. They really did try. Even the first president, he was on the tractor, and he was, because he had been a farmer, Vishwambar, so he was working outside. But then he got criticized. People say that he was a Vaishya. He was not good to be a president. He was more a Vaishya than a Brahmana. And, devotee like to argue for anything. But he had a vision. He really wanted to make the things self-sufficient. But I think it's still our challenge, but we have to do it. I think New Mayapur has to try to become self-sufficient in a way. They have been trying and trying for 45 years, but we should try to get sufficient in one thing. The potatoes, maybe just one thing, and after another thing. It's because it was Prabhupada's desire, and I know some people try, and also at another time we tried to give some parcel of land to some devotees, but they did it 1 year, but it was not a success because a lot of devotees are not farmers or gardeners. It's not their thing. It's not their thing. But it's nice. We need flowers for the deities. So you see, it's a good thing. Anyone who can go help. We are very fortunate because we have Krishna Balaram, and they are very, very beautiful. For me, they are the most beautiful one, even from Krishna Balaram Mandir. I find ours are the best. Once I was in Krishna Balaram Mandir, they were selling photos. Actually, it was Ur Balaram. And I went and I said, but it's not yours. It's you're selling the photo of Ur Balaram. And I was kind of upset, because they were saying it was ours. And after someone told me, oh, you should just be proud, yours is better, so just let them do. So I said, okay, it's true. It's sometimes we're fanatical for nothing. But yeah, all Krishna Balaram are really, really, really beautiful. It's Sitala and Narottam who got them carved in Jaipur. And so they know the story of that. They arrange for them to be carved, and actually they came with their eyes like that, and we have been traveling over the years that no one changed their eyes, so they mostly look like they did at the beginning. And Prabhupada, it's here Prabhupada said that Krishna is who is more strong. I don't know if it's here or in Prabhupada asked who is the strongest, and people were saying Balaram. And Prabhupada said, no, look, he's holding on his brother, so it's Krishna is the strongest. Krishna is the strongest. We have the mercy to see them every day and to serve them, anyone. Peeling potatoes and brooming the floor, it's all the same. Huh? Prabhupada said dressing the deities or cleaning the temple room, it's the same. It's no difference. Peeling the potatoes, working in the garden, it's the same. It's all service. So it's the same. So I thank everyone to be here, and there is still a lot of devotees in New Mayapur. I think we will redo it on Balaram Day. I don't know really what's the plan, but it's the official festival of the installation. And try to get some people of that time to speak. Because this year not many people will come because of COVID. So they will be just the old ones from here. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I wanted to pass around that photo because often the devotees see the photo, but they don't realize when I explain you there was a pillar in the middle at the beginning, and there was folding it. So you see here, Prabhupada, it's when he arrived, is passing in front of Gonitai, and you see that in the middle there is the wooden pillar, and there was folding doors like in Krishna Balaram Mandir at the beginning. Devotee had done that. Devotee had built that. So like this you see. And on the other photo, which is next to the door, where Prabhupada just coming in, There is a very, very young guy in the back, and that's his Aristanasana. He was 17 years old. Looks like a kid. Looks like his son. Yeah. So devotee like this, they can see. They broke the pillar? What did they do with the pillar? Yeah. So after, because there was arch like that, and there was the pillar, and there was those door. And when they decide that we have Radha and Krishna, then they make it square, and they broke the pillar. It's why it's funny, and it's actually wallpaper on the top and everything, because it was never finished. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is at first there was not the Shringasan, and there was marble who was supposed to go behind the deities, because in the commandant's time, it was a terrible, not even painting, it was like a big collage, very big, all the wall, of army things, because he was from army. So when we arrived, there was the tank and the écusson, you know, the which regiment and everything, and that was all behind the altar. It was not wood like that. There was, like in the other room, you have some space, and we have put frames, so there was a big thing. So the devotee had decided to put marble, but just the white one was supposed to go in the back. But they had no time. So they just put wallpaper at first. So on old photos, there's just a white, silvery white paper, and then chandeliers, big, nice chandelier, one above Gonitai, one above Krishna Balaram. And everything came after the Shringasan and the third altar. And the gate came much later, after the deities were attacked. It was much later. Before there was no gate. We just had a little chain. No, first there was those wood door, and after there was just curtain and a little chain. That's all during the day. But the gate was built by two devotees. And the design was from one devotee. He left his body already, Chaitanya Singh, in Mayapur. And the other one, Morlidar, is 80 something, is in England, is English. And they did it here. They made, comment ça s'appelle? Quand on fait chauffer le métal et tout là. Une forge. Voilà, because there was a forge over there actually. On one side of the building was the washing place. That was from the Karmi time. We just used their washing place. And on the other side was a forge. There was a forgeron. There was a chimney and everything. And they did all that carving metal here. They did themselves. Two devotees did all that. But it was later on. It was not in Prabhupada time. But still it's there. And there will be things done by all of you. What? The gate, they're made here. Yeah, on a forge. Here, there was a forge. There was a forge. Where is the bakery? No? That side of that building was a forge from the Karmi time. So they forged there. Yeah, they did the whole thing.
Questions? Just want to clarify. So Gordontai was built first?
Yes. And Prabhupada was not here. It was on his behalf.
Oh, he wasn't here this time.
Yeah.
But when he came for the second time?
Yeah, when he came the first time, there was no deities.
There was no deities.
There was no marble. There was nothing. We were not even using this room. The plan was that room was going to be the temple room. But Prabhupada came when we just moved here. We moved in June, and he came in July, I think. And the plan was that was going to be the temple room, but we were not using it as that. That second prasadam room was the temple room. We used bench from the the chapel. You know, in the chapel there was a lot of those bench. I don't know what happened; they all disappear. But there was one bench, and then we put the Panchatattva, and that was the temple room. Because they start working here from the beginning, that as it was the plan that it was going to become the temple room. Before it was a ballroom, you know, for ballroom for dancing. But in the time of the commandant who was owning here, it was a billard. There was billard. Yeah, because it was those people who were from army and from jail and everything. And that little round room was the bar. There was a bar there.
And the puja in the back room was hunting furnitures. Yeah, it was all carved wood with hunting pastimes.
Yeah, but it was coming from another castle. It was a very old piece from, and they built that room specially to fix that. It was a beautiful piece of art, but horrible. It was just dead animals hanging. We used to have the necklace hanging, you know, because we had no cupboard, nothing. And we didn't have the other room in the back. So we had just that little room at the beginning for the deities. So we use all the heads to put the jewelry. Krishna Balarama jewelry on those heads and Gonitai jewelry on those heads. Because and there was the bed, and the bed was carved, and we had to keep it because it was a piece of that room, which was an expensive room, all carved up. And so we put we took off the mattress and everything, and we put wood there. It was in one corner where we have the steps going up in the mezzanine. We did the mezzanine and everything. There was no mezzanine there. But yeah. And apparently a guy committed suicide in that room. So there was a ghost there at the beginning.
That's, devotees are like, stay with the ghost and that's not true.
No, my husband slept there and he was attacked by the ghost. I didn't, first we never let the deities alone. Never here. Always someone slept in the temple room. There was always, it was one devotee service. I guess in other temple also. Devotee, especially here, there is no one on the ground floor. So there was always someone sleeping here. It was Padasevana's service for a long time. People who know Padasevana, he's a really nice guy. And he used to tell me, because we work in the kitchen together, he said, me, I do service all day, even when I sleep. After it was my husband's service when Padasevana left. But after that, when the central heating stopped, we had central heating before, and then one day it blew up. So we had wood stove everywhere, and we had one in the back room. And I was at Pujari at that time, and I was always scared that something happened just in that little room, just behind the altar. So I wanted my husband to sleep in that room. And he tried, but he got attacked by the ghost.
Many old temples had that problem. I got attacked in New York.
Yeah, I heard in New York in one temple they had many ghosts. So he got attacked there. And we had one stove behind the deities and one in the other room after that we use for kitchen and everything, but it was not kitchen then. And then we had one here in the temple room. It was going to the chimney of Prabhupada. We just had the chimney going up.
It's in hut now. Stove.
Oh, yeah. Le gros stove qui était là. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had huge stove everywhere. But it was hard. The devotee had to carry the wood on their back. They had bags they put in their bag, and they carried the wood everywhere in the temple. Anyway, that was the time. Hein? Ah, vas-y.
So Vishwambara Prabhu, our first temple president here. He sent a little short thing, Haribol, Gopaswami Prabhu, obeisance, Prabhupada. Thank you very much for the invitation. We invited him to come, but he may not come this year. I would be a little uncomfortable in such nice company in New Mayapur, like the crow amongst the swans. I wrote a short poem in English to glorify Shri Krishna Balaram. French language is so nice, but I lost a little because I am in another country now. It's a prayer of gratefulness and thanks to Shri Krishna Balaram. Oh. No, it's another. Hey, doesn't work. It was two. All right. Okay, he may come back. What's going on? Shoop? No. Up. Always like that.
was a nice president. I really liked it when he was president.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. This is his poem. All Shri Krishna Balaram of New Mayapur Dham. All glories, Shri Krishna Balaram of New Mayapur Dham. The dam sprouted from the ocean of mercy is Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Shri Krishna Balaram protects the dam. May Vaishnavas ever sing the glories of the beautiful deities, Shri Krishna Balaram of New Mayapur Dham. Haribo.
I didn't know he was a poet.
Yeah. And yes, Shri Krishna Balaram of Shri New Mayapur Dham of Shri Prabhupada. Yes, Krishna and Balaram and Shri Prabhupada, that's a big story. How long, we don't know, probably eternal story. It's a big story. Shri Prabhupada loved very much Krishna and Balaram. He loved everybody in Vrindavan and Mayapur. But he installed Krishna and Balaram in central hotel in Vrindavan. He loved them very much. And installed them in New Mayapur. That's the only places in the world where Sri Prabhupada installed Krishna Balaram. He loved them very much. And when devotee wanted to install Radha Krishna, he said, yes, you can install Krishna, Radha Krishna, but later, first we will install Krishna and Balaram. And if you sit there like Lochananda Prabhu, you can see the painting of Ramdas Prabhu. Last painting he offered before leaving his body a few years ago. And you can see, like, Krishna is just jumping out of the picture toward Prabhupada. You sit down behind the Visesa and it's like Krishna, so much love for his pure devotee, Prabhupada. That's the feeling I can, So Krishna loved a lot Sri Prabhupada, and Prabhupada loved a lot Krishna and Balaram also. And there's two different feelings. This is, Krishna is expressing his love for Sri Prabhupada. And here, Krishna Balaram, they are strongly installed there. And they want to stay here because their devotee has asked them to come and bless Europe and New Mayapur. He said after the installation, he was in India, he said, Europe is difficult. Spiritual life is difficult. Without spiritual strength coming from Balaram, very, very difficult. But now in Europe, in New Mayapur, we have Balaram, we have Krishna Balaram, so it's really okay. So install Krishna Balaram, and you can see they are very stable. I don't know anybody, if I can say, would have stayed in New Mayapur all this year in such difficult circumstances, the deities and the devotees, for 45 years. So there is some strength here. Very, this is, come from Krishna and Balaram, and they are very stable and strong, serious. We don't mess around with Krishna Balaram. If you want to serve New Mayapur Dham, you have to surrender to Krishna Balaram, and then the miracle can happen. You can serve. Otherwise, it's very difficult. But yes, you don't mess around with Krishna and Balaram, and then they are very loving. And you don't mess around with the holy name and Srila Prabhupada's books. You have to be serious about chanting the holy name. He is Krishna, Nam Prabhu, and and Srila Prabhupada books are very. That's Prabhupada. So if we are serious and sincere with Krishna Balaram, holy name, and Prabhupada teachings, then 45 years you can stay many years here. And if you support New Mayapur will support you, definitely. It's something between Prabhupada, Krishna Balaram, New Mayapur. So that's very nice. Thank you, Krishna Balaram. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada.
I read in Facebook yesterday, Jayadev from England, he said he remembers, and it's true what you wrote, his daughter at some point was in Gurukul here, and because the English Gurukul came at some point, so we had even more kids, and he said, I remember when my daughter was in New Mayapur in Gurukul, all the girls were in love, the little girl of the Gurukul, were in love with Balarama. And it's true, all the girls were in love with Balarama. Everyone loved Balarama. All the little girls, the medium girls, the big girls, they all loved Balarama. They all thought Balarama was the best. He was the hero, the super guy. That was Balarama. And when you hear them now, because now they're big, they're mother, even some of them are grandmother now, they still all, because I put some photos, and they all go, oh, Balarama. They're all in love with Balarama. All the one wearing school there. And once, another story, some people may know Manjari, the daughter of Bhagavan. She came, it was a while ago, but she came back once. And Sitala was looking for her, and she didn't see her for a while. She was like disappeared for 2 hours. And then Sitala asked her, where have you been? And she said, but I stayed in the temple. And she said, yes. She said, yeah, this is my Krishna. This is my Krishna Balaram. This is my Krishna. I grew up with those deities. For them, it's their Krishna. It's important. Even Sudevi, Krishna Charana's daughter, she was telling me, it was so nice, every day we saw, it was just a happening of colors and beautiful, and the children who have been raised here, they remember, and they were attached, they wanted to see. So Krishna Balaram have a lot of supporters in the world. A lot. Eyeball.
Just a few words from the diary. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for these memories. I just wanted to ask about if there were any instructions where to put Krishna Balaram, because everybody knows in my Krishna Balaram is the presiding deity, and so I was wondering. I heard something that they were supposed to be in the middle, like in.
I never heard that.
Never?
Like in Vrindavan?
Yeah, I never heard. Like in Vrindavan, yeah. But in Vrindavan is Krishna Balaram Mandir, but here we are New Mayapur. No. There. Radha Govinda Madhava came after, and they're not installed in Prabhupada's time.
They came after.
They came after,
So
yeah.
before,
79.
before that, Krishna and Balaram were like in the.
No, there was a pillar.
Uh-huh.
They have stayed in the same place. There was two altars, there was a pillar, two arch, and it was Gonitaya and Krishna Balaram, like that. And they had planned that later on they were going to make another altar, and in 79 only it manifested that Bhagavan wanted to put Radha and Krishna in the middle. But
there was discussions, of course, amongst devotees later. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, like that.
No, later on, devotees made. Later on, some devotees say we should put them.
Yeah, of course, natural discussion, family discussions, But it's not very serious because it's like, even Srila Prabhupada, he said, yes, you can install Radha and Krishna, but later, first, Krishna Balaram. So it's like, of course we know through Gaurnitai, who are non-different from Krishna and Balaram, and then through them, you can reach Radha and Krishna. So, of course, Radha and Krishna, Radha Govinda Madhava, they're certainly deserved, wherever they are. I don't think anybody would tell them, move there. It's Krishna and Radha and Krishna pastimes. It's like that, so we should not, speculate too much on that. It's very nice. Yes, very nice. Yeah, yes, Krishna Balaram, they are, according to Prabhupada, first, Gaunitai and Krishna Balaram. And then, when you are advanced through their mercy, you can worship Radha and Krishna. That was the principle. A few readings from shortly, it's late, but... Huh? Microphone? He has a microphone story of Prabhupada listening to his own chanting of Govinda, Madhipurusha, and Brahma Samhita, and Yogeshwar saying, Srila Prabhupada, you have the most wonderful voice of the universe. And Prabhupada answered, yes, because Narottam Das said that this voice doesn't belong to this universe. Gaurikara Premadan, Harinam, Sankirtan. And try to find quick things. Yeah, from Paris, early in the morning, we embarked on the 3-hour trip to the farm. Stop only once for drink of water and to stretch. Beautiful castle in the heart of the French countryside. It seems ideal for ISKCON's purposes, although it requires a good deal of renovation. Still then, it's not just that it crammed down because, we did not take care. Already there was some work to be done. There was no building, and there was no guest house or Gurukul, yoga hall, all these things like that. There was a barn instead of the guest house with 3 or 4 cars. Srila Prabhupada is pleased to see the devotees adopting rural life. He sees great potential for expansion in Europe through the acquisition of such property. He first went to the Aisling temple room and offered his prostrated obeisances to Shishi Gornitai. The first time he saw them, last time, Shishi Gornitai. And, sitting on his newly constructed Vyasasan carved from black and white marble, he surveyed his eager followers with a bright smile. He said, "So, I am very glad to see you again in this village." And all the devotees cheered. Haribo. Yes, Hare Krishna. It was a prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that in every village they will be preaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So by your transcendental endeavor, it is being fulfilled. Otherwise, who expected that in this remote village of France, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra would be chanted? Sri Prabhupada went out for a walk at 5 p.m. The sun was still shining brightly, the country air was warm. Devotees rapidly joined Prabhupada as he took a short tour, walking around the grassy fields surrounding the chateau and along the country lanes. Sri Prabhupada wrote, I like very much New Mayapur, the palace, my apartments, so nice, especially the outdoors, around the castle, especially the outdoors, so you have to put back the outdoors together. And I said, yeah, we don't have anything like that in United States, in USA, he said. At this time, farms, there were, New Vrindavan, Gita Nagari, and New Orleans farm. And then one farm for the whole Europe, New Mayapur. There was a Schloss also. Of course, in Germany, it disappeared. There was a manor, but Prabhupada said, yeah, there's not much land there, but still they should grow there. Yeah. Another tour, walking steadily in the bright evening sun. We took Prabhupada around the grounds. Then we walked down to the large factory building down there. It was used to manufacture boats and plastics. But the devotees now operate Spiritual Sky Incense Company from it. And it's sold in France, Germany, Holland, and Belgium. Last year, the business gave $80,000 to the temple. Prabhupada was pleased to see everything, inquired where they obtained the ingredients of their various products from, and then suggested that they could make toothpaste from his original formula. Prabhupada was a pharmacist, so he had a formula for toothpaste. It's a very nice formula, I tried it, really nice. So, yeah, you could make that, but he said, actually, I could give hundreds of formulas, enough to start a big factory, but on which to divert your attention. And walking back the path towards the chateau, he became a little fatigued. Looking over the large tree there, he decided to sit for a while beneath its spreading branch. And he sat on the grounds on a blanket. We all sat around him. Bhagavan Prabhu played mridanga, led a kirtan with his sweet and melodic voice. Prabhupada clapped, encouraged the children also. Everybody was happy, very happy, to sit so informally, participating in kirtan with their spiritual master. And Prabhupada spoke there. Aikutuki apratiyata. Nothing can check devotional service. It's spontaneous, no check. Can chant, can sit down, and on this tree, no limit. Here is the opportunity. This land is very good. You can sit down anywhere, chant this Hare Krishna mantra. No need of chair, cushion, anything else. That will please you completely. Your heart, mind, body, soul. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the installation day was a very blissful day for Krishna Balaram. Everybody likes to be invited. Huh? We got invited the other day, and by some friends, and that was nice. We feel so the deities are very happy to be invited like that by their pure devotee. So it was a very blissful day for them, and of course for us and for Prabhupada. He invited his Krishna and Balaram here. So a very blissful day, as Mataji expressed. It was more than 300 devotees, he said, are usually there somewhere. Yeah. So Prabhupada came down around 11:30. It was not very organized, the installation time. So Prabhupada got a little upset. Hey, what's going on? So he just, wait, no, wait a little more, no, yes, no, like that. So he just, boom, came down himself, came here for the installation, and flowers, greenery, festoons were everywhere in the temple room. The green velvet canopy hung over the heads of the beautiful 4-foot deity standing on an elevated platform in front of the deity room. Black marble Krishna posed with his left hand on his hip, and white marble Lord Balaram, standing a few inches taller, stood to his side, left hand raised to rest on Krishna's right shoulder. One devotee told me, I do not remember that when Prabhupada climbed the stairs for the stage, last step he missed it a little, and he saw Prabhupada grabbing Balaram's shoulder. And he saw Prabhupada on Balaram's shoulder and Balaram on Krishna's shoulder. Well, it was a nice scene, That was Vijayavara who told me that. Vijayavara. 2 days ago, one man came, and long rasta, in there, my age, and he was like very nice, with his wife, a doctor, and she was, and we spoke, and he was just, very nice, yeah. And after a while, he felt more confident. He said, well, okay, I was initiated in 1981. I am Vijaraj Das. I never came back. And when I stood in front of the deities, I was so emotional because I could not remember the name of the white one. And then, I concentrated, and then he came back. Oh, Balaram. Wow. And he said, I was so emotional. Then 40 years later, he came here. I didn't have anything to do with it. And he leaned to me and said, but I remember one mantra. And he said it all along very nicely. He was a very nice man. Vijayaraj. Anyway, that's a little story. Yeah, Prabhupada mounted the stage. A loud, jubilant kirtan commenced, accompanied by the blowing of conch shells. Hundreds of voices shouting, Haribol, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Krishna Balaram Ki Jai. His Divine Grace pours the first substances of the Abhishek Jagya above the head of their lordships. Then he stepped down to sit on his Vyasasana where he delivered a short talk. Then Jaratirtha, Bhagavan, Gurudas, Swami, Pradyumna, and many other Prabhus completed the transcendental bathing ceremony. Wow. A local television company filmed the whole event. Ouais,
C'était une Suisse, c'était une compagnie
Did you get it
suisse.
from them?
Tu crois?
Yeah.
Parce que Mataji dit toujours que c'est FR3.
C'est lui qui m'a dit que c'était les Suisses.
Ah bon?
Oh, je sais pas alors.
Je sais pas.
No, but they tried, but it was too late because they keep archive for 25 years.
Maybe.
And do you think they got rid of it?
Yeah, he asked because one man came. When Madhvacharya was president, one man came who had been here, who had been filming, And he told him, yeah, I came and on that date, and there was so many people, and there was something, he didn't know what it was, but there was, and he had filmed everything, and Madhvacharya said he tried to get it, but they don't. No, he asked him to get it, but the man said that he doubt it was there because they don't keep for ages.
Beyond 25 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe.
But he asked Madhvacharya, he asked
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah, maybe some research could be still done.
Yeah, the camera was here actually by that time.
Yeah. So the deities were then taken behind the altar curtain to be dressed for their first darshan. And after 15 minutes, because it was already 1:30 p.m., Bhagavan Prabhu suggested that instead of waiting for the deities to be dressed, which could be some time, Srila Prabhupada could instead do the initiations. So Prabhupada went for the initiations on a grass field, and with nice garland he had, brilliant marigolds, and 40 or 50 initiates, 2 lines, and the scene was full of natural opulence, trees, grassy pastures, perfecting setting off the fruit, flowers, and peacock feather decorations. And Guru Gauranga translated, introduced the devotees, and then when it was being done, initiation, at least the beads and the spiritual names, the devotees carried Srila Prabhupada back to the chateau on his palanquin, dancing, chanting all around. He sat serenely, but it was too late to have darshan of Shri Krishna Balarama. So Srila Prabhupada returned to his room for lunch, and then he wrote an answer to a letter to Srimati Morarji. She was disturbed with the Vallabhacharya thing. And then, because it was time to go back to Paris for rain and everything, so he just went back. So it was a very, you could say, simple, simple, pure devotional relationship with Krishna Balaram, Srila Prabhupada. He called them from his heart, poured the substances as a formal installation, and he left. Simple.
Next day or the same day?
No, the same day. He did not went back to see the dressed deities or anything. Just left. Back to Paris. It was time. But Hare Krishna. Yes, the installation was a very blissful day out of the time. I just remember like a sea of heads, jumping everywhere. In fact, you have no room to stay, everywhere. It's like that, Beautiful scene, Lochananda and Bhagavan and Jayatirtha and that, in Prabhupada. Ecstasy. Ecstasy, which is still going on. Thank you to be here, or thank you, Krishna and Bhagavan. Thank you, Prabhupada.
I have a question.
Okay.
Anyone from Mother Visesa? How many devotees were able to carry like Balaram or Krishna? Because we tried to carry a cow, and I think Namaskar was there. They were super heavy. We were like 3 or 4 of us. We were struggling to carry the cow. But what about Krishna Balaram?
I think just
To each?
2.
To each?
Okay.
yeah, 2 for each deity. Yeah, the cow is very heavy.
The deities are not so heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy, but I think 2 persons you can move them.
2 for deities. 2 for Balaram, 2 for carry.
There was no lotus.
Because there is a photo for Gonitai, and we see when they're carrying Gonitai actually. But it's Vishnu is strong.
Elle a été prise où cette photo? J'arrive pas à reconnaître.
Oui,
I'd like to thank
ça,
Mother
ils sont,
Visesa. This is like years
ça, c'est
and years
amusant.
of hard work and
Oui, c'est ce que
Il
j'ai
l'a
vu.
donné, etc. Ils sont en train de marcher vers